Good morning. Happy Friday. Great to be back. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Good to see all of you guys. We have some drama today with Mr. Ben Armstrong from BitBoy Crypto. Apparently it wasn't drug abuse. He was cheating on his wife with somebody in the company. The COO apparently of Bencoin, which I forget what the COO stands for, but the chief officer or something. I don't know. Anyways, it was the lady that was running that, as far as I know. That's what my research is telling me. So I'll show you what she looks like and we'll listen to his little thing in just a second. Obviously I feel terrible for him. It kind of sucks, but like, he did it to himself. So at the end of the day, sucks to suck. All right, let's get into some altcoin news today. We're gonna get into a bunch of stuff. Obviously, as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask during, and yeah, we're gonna go over everything today. So let's do it. And my shit just glitched over here, so if the stream gets any glitchy, just let me know. It's weird though, shouldn't be glitching. All right, let's see what the market looks like today and then we'll get into it. All right, Bitcoin, it looks like 26,114. We have Ethereum 1649. Everything's kind of red today, dumping down a bit on the market overall. Look at that. Litecoin's at 64 bucks, deep red, down 5.56%. Dogecoin just under 6.5. BNB 215. XRP at 50 cents. By the way, totally forgot to say thank you. As a pirate, thank you so much for gifting the 10 memberships. You guys are awesome. Make sure if you guys aren't linked in Discord, link YouTube with Discord, and you guys will have the access to the VIP chat where you can get the hash rate giveaway that we've been doing every week until like the last 2 weeks. So just been stuff going on in my life. I haven't had a chance to do it, but we will be doing 3 people this weekend. I'll pick, and we'll be running it next week for you guys on the KS0 inside my solar trailer. So that's that. All right, let's check out. Do we have a daily rug pull? What do we got? Ton coin. Look at this. Ton's up to 22. Oh, it's on the week. 22.4%. Let's see what's on the day. It's up 3.5% on the day, and everything else is shit. Wow. Casp is actually up today. What's that? Up a tiny bit. 3 cents, almost 3.5 cents. I think it's right where it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the chat. All right, I'm gonna try not to blind you guys. Check out the fear and greed index. We're looking at 40 fear. Yesterday it was 52. Last week it was 39. So it's getting down to the slumps, people. People are getting nervous, and that is the best time to buy, according to Mr. Warren Buffett. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap, and then we'll get into the drama. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, XRP. We have USD Coin, Lado Staked Ether, Cardano, Doge, and Solana in 10th. Litecoin still at 15th, Shiba at 16th. So everything's looking, I mean, nothing's really changed in the top 10, but is what it is. All right, anyways, I think this is about time we dive into this. So I'm going to turn down this music, and we're going to listen to Mr. Ben Armstrong himself respond to what the hell has been going on in the allegations of him, I guess, doing drugs, because that wasn't the catalyst. It was the cheating with somebody in the company. All right, let's do it.
Hey Bit Squad, it's TJ. We received the following video from Ben today. While it does not address all of the issues that led to Ben's removal, we believe it does shed some light on some of those issues. Ben has asked us to share this video with you now.
It's kind of impressive they actually let him put the video up, though.
Hey guys, this is not the easiest video that I ever had to make by any stretch of the imagination, and I've got a couple words on a piece of paper. This is
real quick. I just want to say I do feel bad for his wife in this situation, because clearly she's supporting him by being here in this video with him, but it's a shitty light to be in. Do you know what I mean? It's a shitty light, and yes, it's gonna be a horrible 8 minutes, so enjoy.
all from the heart. I got some topics that I want to cover. That's not serious. That was not, I guess that's a comic relief we all needed at this moment. You have to laugh until you cry. So we, first I'm sorry. Sorry to the Bit Squad. I know I let people down. I know that. I've let my family down. I've let the Bit Squad down. I've let everybody down. I failed. I was so strong for so long. I've been at rock bottom before. I know what it feels like. I'm there again. So the word relapse is an interesting word, because I think the way I interpret it and the way other people may have interpreted it are not the same. I haven't done cocaine, haven't done meth, haven't done drugs like that.
Real quick, which is surprising because he is usually off the chain. I swear, I thought it would have been cocaine before anything else. That would make him like all as hyped up as he always is, right? So that's probably why everybody was assuming that's what was going on. But I mean, again, you don't know. That shit's out of your system in 2 days, so who knows?
Didn't relapse. But I've been taking diet pills, and I've been taking some steroids, some stuff that I thought was helping me. It helped me get my body in shape. You guys know I was very out of shape. I was doing everything I can to try to do the best. And, you know, the thing is that I guess I was acting crazier than I thought I was. These things were affecting me more than I thought they were. And everybody around it could see me, and I just couldn't see it.
Well, you know what, too? It's probably a huge, like, you know how you get that, like, that famous thing go on? Like, you feel like you're better than everybody because you're, like, you know, everybody's starting to know you and you're starting to become famous and all that stuff. I'm sure that was a factor of it too, which was getting to his head during the steroid thing. This probably doesn't help because I know steroids do mess with your mental state. So, it is what it is.
And obviously, a lot of people know at this point, and if you don't, you're going to know now, I had an affair. I did. And I know that I have a family brand. That's my brand, family. And this is my family. And I had an affair, and it went on for a while, and you know, the other person is not a bad person. I want to say that. I take full responsibility.
His wife, like, I feel so bad for her right here, to be honest. I was like, oh my God, this is terrible.
For all of this. And, you know, what says family more than staying together when you go through something like this? And we're going to stay together.
Yeah, well, I love him so much, and all couples go through hard times, and I believe in redemption, and I believe in hope, and I fully believe that Ben and we've invested too much in our relationship for either one of us to walk away. So we are committed to making us a priority and coming out a lot stronger as a couple and ultimately as a family.
Yep.
Real quick, let's check out the other lady and then we'll get back into this. So this is who I think it is, if I'm not mistaken, with all my my research. This chick right here. Hold on, he's a little hyped up in this video.
And the thing is today I want to talk to you guys about Bencoin. I want to do an update. I have brought on with us here, we're going to have several guests today on the show, but I brought the most elite, the most exclusive.
And like, get that they're on vacation right now in the DR, if I'm not mistaken.
Duchess of DeFi and all of crypto. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Cassie Wolf.
Pretty sure
How's it going,
this is
Cassie?
her.
Oh
Pretty
my
sure
gosh,
this is her.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, so good. So here's the thing. Cassie is the COO, the Chief Operations Officer of Bencoin. What does that mean?
Chief Operations Officer of Bencoin. So this is alleged who it is, but I guess, you know, only the truth will come out eventually. So we'll see.
So we're going to work through this. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard for my kids. I'm sorry to them. Very sorry I let them down. I just think at the end of the day, my perspective of what was going on was probably not accurate. The truth may be somewhere in the middle, but the fact is that I've messed up, and I can't make an excuse for an affair. I can't make an excuse for it. I absolutely cannot. And you know, I said a lot of things about the people that work with me, and like I said, this is me looking at it from my perspective. From their perspective, things were different, and they didn't want to talk to me about this. People haven't wanted to talk to me about it. They've known for a while, and they just, it felt like when I got confronted about it that I was ambushed. That's how it felt. It felt to me I was ambushed. My company, I built it in a way that I'm not in total control of it. I'm not.
Over or under? Was she sleeping with somebody else? What do you guys think? She's way too calm in this entire video. Like, there's no way. So, she had to be okay with it. Like, there's no way she's this calm. It's either that or he gave her a lot of money, one or the other.
There are things I can do legally. There are things I can do to fight. But at the end of the day, if I want to save BitBoy Crypto, channel you guys love, or you love to hate, or the other, if I'm going to save it, then I've got to give in, and I have to fold, and I have to go and work with these people, and I want to save it. We have a lot of brands. Just so we have many more, but we have Vumio, BitBoy Academy, Crucial Crypto, Hit Network. We have Frankie Candles. Frank's great. I love Frank. I still love Frank. And there's a lot here. There's a lot to save. And the fact is, nobody probably in history has made more millionaires than this channel made in the last bull run. And we're going to do it again. And so you have to decide whether you're for us or against us. I had said some things about Justin and TJ and Allison and Nick DeMondi and other people that I was giving you from my perspective. And I don't know. I haven't got to talk to them yet. We're going to sit down and talk, I believe, and try to get all this straightened out. But, you know, all of our brands that we have are amazing. There's no better academy than BitLab Academy. There just isn't. It's phenomenal. Kelly does such an unbelievable job. Our newsletter, Dana works on that. Unbelievable and content goes into that newsletter. Frankie, one of the best TA guys out there. Hit Network, we have tons of channels under that. We have Around the Blockchain, though. We incubated on my channel. We have a new show that we're going to be debuting at some point. And Vumio, like, look, when it comes to NFT platforms, like, there's not going to be a better platform than Vumio. Justin and I have talked.
He's making an apology video and he's shilling an NFT platform. Yeah, it's tough to hold it together. Sorry, Patty Whack Miner. This is brutal.
Justin, I think we came to an understanding. You know, we do love each other. We've been friends for 15 years. We've been friends for 15 years, and I know he cares about me. And I care about him and his family. And sometimes when you're in business and you're in the heat of the battle, you forget the things that are really important. But what's really important are the people that are around you and how you treat them. And Vumio is going to do amazing. Vumio is going to be the NFT platform. I told you guys in the beginning when we got involved in this, it was going to be the platform. It was going to take out OpenSea. We didn't know somebody else was going to take it out first. But when Vumio comes out, you're not going to see an NFT platform that's going to be able to touch it. And yes, NFTs are down and they seem like they're dead, but they're not. They'll come back. Crypto seems like it's dead in just one pump, and all of a sudden everybody's interested again. And so we're all going to get through this. We're going to get through this together. And I just ask you guys not to turn your back on me. I do care about everybody. I care a lot. I care about crypto adoption. I care about Bitcoin. I care about making Bitcoin the moment that brings in the adoption. And as bad as this situation is, and it's really, really freaking bad, way more people are going to know about crypto after this, I believe. So, you know, a sacrifice for crypto adoption for you guys. That was a joke. That's all I have. They're my jokes. That's it. But I love you all.
This is rough.
And I don't know how long I'll be gone for. I don't know. A week, a month. I don't know. But I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back stronger than ever. I just know I'm a fighter, and I'll continue to fight. I love you guys. People, that's BitBoy out.
That's it. Insane. Thank you so much. Yave, is that how you say that? I'm not sure if I butchered your name. I apologize, but thank you for the sticker. That was hysterical. But yeah, so again, I feel for him in the situation he's in, but not the situation he put himself in. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, most of us guys around here, like, whoever's married, you guys understand, like, I'd be nowhere without my wife. I couldn't do that to her. I don't care how famous I get. It doesn't matter. Like, I have morals. You know what I mean? If that shit's true, that's grimy. You know what I mean? So at least he's kind of trying to take responsibility for it, but their views must be fucking shit, because if he's on here still plugging NFT platforms and Bencoin and all this other bullshit, and he's trying to apologize at the same time, like, them allowing this to happen is fucked up. It's very fucked up. But I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, that's the chick right there. Apparently, this girl. I don't know. This is who I got. The COO, chief. What was it? Officer something. I don't know. COO. That's what they call her, of Bencoin. So she draws on her eyebrows. That's all I know. I don't know anything else about her. All right. Anyways, let's jump into some actual crypto news today. Now that we got that out of the way, this is Anthony Pompliano just doing he did a little clip. This is on his channel, Bitcoin ETF Impact Surprises TV host. So I want to see what he has to say here. It's only like a minute or two long. I lied. Sorry, 3 minutes long. 3 minutes long, and then we'll get into some other news. Let's do it.
Let me get the reaction here of Anthony Pompliano, founder of Pomp Investments and an early Bitcoin investor. We would call you an early adopter. Anthony, do you think that the SEC will take another stab, will try to take down Grayscale and ETF and take another stab at the apple, so to speak?
Yeah, Contessa, one of the things I think is really interesting here is this is the beauty of America, is we have market participants and regulators going into court, laying out their best argument, and the courts are deciding who they actually put more weight behind in that decision. And so one of the things that I think is really important is that the SEC obviously has a choice to make now. No one knows what they're going to do. But I do think that if we go back 2 years and we look at when it was just Grayscale or it was just kind of fly-by-night organizations who had ETF applications in, that's very different than today, where we now have BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest, et cetera. And so I do think that an idea's time has come. A Bitcoin spot ETF is likely to be approved at some point in the next 12 to 18 months. When it happens, how it happens, no one knows. But I do think that the American court system, this is the beauty of this country. And if we want to continue to embrace the entrepreneurial DNA of the country while also having a fair financial market that protects investors, this is a perfect example of how we can do that and allow market participants and regulators to lay out their arguments in front of those courts.
Do you think that this momentum changes at all the liquidity in the crypto market?
Yeah, look, Bitcoin is in a really, really interesting point. About 70% of the Bitcoin that's in circulation today is being held by people who are not selling. They've been holding this Bitcoin for over a year despite all of the volatility. And so whenever you have something like a Bitcoin spot ETF that's kind of on deck, it's next up. And if it does get approved, that will lead to a very significant increase in demand, specifically from institutions. Remember, Bitcoin has been adopted by individuals in retail first. If they wanted to buy Bitcoin, they've gone and signed up for a crypto exchange and they've bought Bitcoin. But now we are seeing institutions knocking at the door. And so that's a huge wave of demand. But don't forget, we're less than 1 year away from the Bitcoin halving as well, which is a supply shock. And so if you go back to 2020, we've seen this playbook before. We had a supply shock in the halving. We had a demand shock coming from all of the money printing from the government. Now what we're seeing is a supply shock coming from the halving within the next 12 months. And we're seeing a potential demand shock coming from these ETF applications. Last time we went up hundreds of % in price. And if we get both of these events to occur within a 12-month period, I think that we will see a very big price appreciation in Bitcoin once again.
Does it matter who gets to market first?
That's the big question. It does matter who is there first. We have seen time and time again from the ETF applications, whoever is first to market, they tend to suck up all of the assets. What I think would be very interesting, I don't know if this is going to happen, but it would be interesting to see the SEC approve multiple issuers all at the same time and kind of let the market figure it out. Rather than the SEC play referee and decide who goes first, who goes second, instead if they just said, look, we're going to let you guys all into the market and then let you all figure out who gets the assets, I think that may be something that would be interesting.
I can see it now.
Investors.
It's like a racehorse. You line them all up and then count it down and just open the gates and let them run the race. All right, Mr. Pompliano, thank you for your time, sir. Coming up.
It's going to be very interesting to see who gets there first, which ETF gets approved first. I don't know. It's what do you guys think? Do you think they're going to approve one over another first, or do you think they're just going to open the gates to everything? Let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. All right, crypto world. This is the again, the day after we watch this, because they put it out in like the afternoon of the day prior. So let's check it out. Binance to gradually wind down support for BUSD products. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys heard of that. Actually, Binance is, I guess, trying to depeg BUSD. So I don't know. I'm assuming it has a lot to do with the legal stuff that they're going through right now with the US. So let's get into this, see what this is all about, and then we'll go from there.
Today, Binance announces the wind down of the BUSD stablecoin. And Zach Shapiro, managing partner at the crypto-focused law firm Reigns, breaks down the landmark Grayscale ETF ruling.
Real quick, thank you so much for the $5 super chat.
Did anyone hear how BlackRock bought stakes in the top 4 Bitcoin mining farms? I think they are trying build before the ETF approval.
No, I didn't hear about that. That's very interesting. That's neat. I didn't know that at all. Would it be Hut 8, do you think? Did they invest into that? I'm gonna look. I'll Google that right now, actually. Thank you very much again for the $5 super chat. You're awesome.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. The crypto market is in the red today to wrap up August. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin slid back below $27,000, while Ether fell below $1,700. XRP, meanwhile, dipped to 52 cents. Let's talk.
All right, hold on. I found it. Let's see. So BlackRock's the world's largest asset manager has invested in 4 of the 5 largest Bitcoin mining companies by market cap. The move is especially notable since BlackRock is a traditional financial institution whose values are sometimes at odds with those of the free-spirited world of cryptocurrencies. I'm going to find out which ones they invested in. Give me a few minutes, but let's listen to this.
Talk about the top stories. Binance is pushing users to get rid of their BUSD. The company announced on Thursday that it will gradually cease support for the stablecoin by February of 2024. Users will no longer be able to borrow BUSD after September 6th or withdraw Binance pegged BUSD tokens on BNB Chain, Avalanche, Polygon, Tron, and Optimism. Binance also said it will gradually delist BUSD spot and margin trading pairs. The move comes after Paxos halted minting of new BUSD tokens back in February at the direction of the New York Department of Financial Services. That agency pointed to several unresolved issues around Paxos' relationship with Binance for the order. Next, the judge overseeing Sam Bankman-Fried's fraud case might be open to delaying the trial. Reuters reports that Judge Lewis Kaplan said he would consider delaying the October 3rd trial after SBF and his lawyers argued he didn't have enough time to review evidence with his limited internet access in jail. Judge Kaplan reportedly raised the idea of a 5-month delay if the defendant, in good conscience, needs a postponement. Finally, a federal judge pointed to the need for clearer regulation while throwing out a lawsuit against Uniswap. A court in the Southern District of New York dismissed the class action lawsuit against the DeFi platform, which claimed Uniswap violated U.S. securities law.
Oh, wow.
And in that dismissal, Judge Faya said the court, quote, declines to stretch the federal securities law to cover the conduct alleged and concludes the plaintiff's concerns are better addressed by Congress than this court. The judge also said that the current state of crypto regulation leaves plaintiffs without recourse.
Well, that's awesome.
Also in that opinion, Judge Faya listed ETH as a crypto commodity.
Oh, wait, what?
All right, let's stick with...
Wait, Ethereum's now a crypto commodity? What? They just say that? So Uniswap's off the hook and ETH is now a crypto commodity? Weird.
Recent crypto court rulings for our main story, our Talia Kaplan spoke with Zach Shapiro, managing partner at Reigns, a law firm with a focus on crypto, to discuss Grayscale's win against the SEC and Ripple's landmark victory over its native token XRP.
The D.C. Court of Appeals recently sided with Grayscale, which sued the regulator over its denial of a plan to convert the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF. The court said the SEC failed to adequately explain why it approved the listing of 2 Bitcoin futures ETFs, but not Grayscale's proposed Bitcoin ETF. The court argued that the regulatory treatment was unlawful in the, quote, absence of a coherent explanation. What do you make of that ruling? What was your immediate reaction?
Yeah, so my immediate reaction is that this decision is remarkable in light of the really high bar that Grayscale's lawyers needed to meet. They needed to show that the SEC decision to deny the spot ETF was arbitrary and capricious, that they couldn't show any real reason why they could deny the Bitcoin spot ETF when they had previously allowed multiple Bitcoin futures settled ETFs.
Do you think we're now getting closer to the first spot Bitcoin ETF in the US?
I think so. So I think the first thing to understand is the reasoning that the DC Circuit had in its decision. So the thing that had been at issue here was the SEC's repeated decision to deny the approvals of Bitcoin spot ETFs, arguing that the surveillance sharing agreements, which are agreements meant to prevent fraud and manipulation of the underlying markets, were insufficient. And the thing at issue is whether the surveillance agreement, which was the same between the proposed spot ETF and the approved futures ETFs of the CME, the Chicago futures market, was sufficient, and specifically whether that market met the 2 legal requirements you need to be of sufficient size. So first, in order to be of sufficient size, the market in question needs to be the place that someone who would likely manipulate the market in an unfair way would go in order to do that manipulation. The SEC had said that in terms of the spot ETF, manipulation could happen outside of the CME because you could just go to spot exchanges like Binance or Coinbase. But in the futures ETF, that was not the case. The DC Circuit said that that was not a reasonable justification because the spot market and the futures market trade 99.9% the same. And then the other argument the SEC had made was that the futures ETFs would not be a significant factor in moving the CME price, the market that's being surveilled, whereas a spot ETF really could move the underlying price of the CME given the size of the amount of Bitcoin that Grayscale holds. And again, the DC Circuit rejected that, saying that, first of all, Grayscale doesn't hold any futures, so it can't directly influence the futures market. And any manipulation using a spot ETF would have to go through the spot market itself. And Grayscale only holds about 3% of the outstanding spot market for Bitcoin.
Let's talk about another recent court decision. A judge ruled in July that Ripple did not violate securities laws when issuing XRP to retail investors. The SEC is looking to appeal that ruling. Last month, you wrote a piece on that landmark summary judgment decision explaining what it means for the future of digital asset regulation. In the piece, you note that the judge concluded that Ripple's XRP tokens aren't inherently securities, but that the manner in which these tokens were sold constituted an illegal, unregistered securities offering in certain instances and not others. Can you elaborate on that and take us through the implications of this ruling?
Absolutely. So the 800-pound gorilla in the room of the crypto industry right now is the question about which of the crypto assets or digital assets, when they're offered and sold, constitute a type of security called an investment contract. So there are a couple of different types of securities, some of which are very familiar to people: stocks, right, which are equity securities; bonds, which are debt securities; and other contractual securities like options. But there's this other catch-all category of securities called investment contracts that rely on an 80-year-old Supreme Court case called Howey. And there's this framework called the Howey test that asks 4 questions. Did an investor invest money in an asset in question? Was that investment in a common enterprise, meaning did investors pool money towards some outcome? Third, did they buy it in the expectation that they would profit from that investment, from the thing they bought? And fourth, was that expectation they would profit based on efforts, business efforts, that the person who sold it or some other particular group would take, so not their own efforts. And here with XRP, most legal commentators, I think, had assumed that the SEC would win this case and say most people who bought XRP, whether in the initial sale of XRP by Ripple Labs or on the secondary market, were buying it to expect to make money on XRP. They wanted the price of the token to go up, and their expectations that the price of the token would go up would be based on work that Ripple Labs would do, for example, to make banks integrate this into their payment systems. And the court found that because Ripple Labs didn't make specific promises to retail purchasers of the token, that the sales of those sales to those retail purchasers didn't constitute investment contracts under this Howey analysis we just talked about. And moreover, that when Ripple Labs granted tokens to their employees and contractors in payment for services, that because those contractors and employees didn't pay money for the tokens, they didn't meet that first Howey prong of investment of money.
So late last month, a federal judge in New York split with a judge in the Ripple case, allowing the SEC to proceed with its case against Terraform Labs and its founder, Do Kwon. What does that signify, and what do you think that means for the industry? Do you think that decision adds to the uncertainty over crypto regulation here in the US?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I think the Ripple case was a really big surprise to lawyers and commentators in the area. The more recent summary judgment ruling by Judge Rakoff, who's one of the more famous judges in the Southern District of New York, where both of these cases are taking place, I think is the much more traditional understanding of how securities laws apply to crypto, right? He said, just because something is not positioned as a security doesn't mean that in a particular context, it doesn't qualify as an investment contract. And so
Chadwicks, thank you so much for the $5 super chat.
$2.50 for you. $2.50 for Commie Google. Happy Friday and have a nice weekend.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. And also, Mr. Chadwicks, thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. I appreciate it. Sorry, I got distracted from my kid. Now I'm trying to keep him from hitting my keyboard. All right, we got a couple more minutes of this thing. Let's continue.
So immediately what this means is that both of these cases are going to have to be settled by the Second Circuit, which is the Court of Appeals that oversees the Southern District of New York. And we're likely to get an appeals ruling deciding which of these two interpretations of the law is correct.
It certainly will be interesting to see what happens there. But what could the Ripple decision mean for those lawsuits the SEC brought against Binance and Coinbase? Do you think it could strengthen the case of those two major crypto exchanges?
So if the decision in the Ripple case withstands appeal, which I think is a big if, then absolutely it will strengthen the case that both Coinbase and Binance have when the SEC is going after them. The SEC is saying that both Coinbase and Binance are violating the law by hosting assets on their exchange that legally qualify as securities under the Howey test for the same reasons why the SEC thought XRP was a security. And if the reasoning that the Southern District applied in the XRP case is used in the Coinbase and Binance suits, then Coinbase and Binance will have much stronger defenses that the tokens on their platform do not qualify as securities, and thus they are not breaking the law.
In general, what's your take on the SEC's approach of regulation by enforcement? Do you think that's an effective approach for regulating the industry, or do you think there's a better way?
Honestly, I have a lot of sympathy for both sides here. On the one hand, I think that the SEC statements by Gary Gensler are largely true, that much of crypto is violating the laws, and a lot of these things do legally constitute investment contract securities, and they're flouting SEC regulations that other industries have to follow. On the other hand, the SEC, I think, is also playing hide the ball with how can crypto companies comply with the laws. There's not a straightforward path to register as a security. There's not infrastructure for crypto securities. And the SEC doesn't seem very interested in providing clear rules about how issuers of tokens can release tokens that do not meet the definition of an investment contract. So it's definitely true that the SEC has a lot they could go after, but this policy of regulation by enforcement, by instead of publishing clear rules or even its interpretation of the rules that exist, the SEC is just bringing cases on a one-by-one basis. That's a really tough thing for the industry, and a lot of frustration there about that.
Shapiro also weighs in on the main factors preventing mass adoption of digital assets and explains how U.S. courts are navigating the nascent crypto industry. You can check out his full interview at cnbc.com/cryptoworld. Okay, that's all for Crypto World today. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Shout out to Crypto World for that. Sorry I wasn't paying too much attention, but my son decided to come down and surprise me. Little man's turning 3 this weekend, actually. His birthday's on Sunday. Up, and he's going back to mom. Hold on. All right. There we go. Back to mom. All right, let's get back into this. So, what's next? I have Coin Bureau, Altcoins pump or dump report you can't miss. I kind of want to watch that, and then yeah, we'll get into some other stuff. Oh, actually, you know what? I wanted to show you guys BlackRock's, the companies they actually invested in. So I didn't know they invested into a bunch of, I guess, big mining operations. So apparently they have spread investments across Riot Platforms, Marathon Digital Holdings, Cypher Mining Inc., and TerraWolf Inc., which is, I guess, the top 5 places. So right here, actually, I found this as well. 1 through 5. As you can see, Hut 8 is in number 4th, or the 4th spot, rather. And yeah, they've invested in everything except for this one. So these top 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5. But yeah, kind of interesting. I wonder why it didn't go into Hut 8, because I'm pretty sure they're like one of the biggest, if I'm not mistaken. All right, anyways, let's get into Mr. Guy over at Coin Bureau. Guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. If you missed the BitBoy Crypto, Ben Armstrong's meltdown or response video, go check it out. It's at the beginning of this video. And then, yeah, you guys can make your decision if you believe him or not. But apparently it was an affair, not a drug problem. He just takes a little bit of steroids. That's it. No big deal. All right, let's get into this. Hit that like button, guys. Appreciate you for hanging out. This is Guy over at Coin Bureau.
History doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. When it comes to crypto, understanding past price action can often help you forecast what's coming. However, this requires lots of data and a thorough analysis of said data. As it so happens, crypto data research firm Messari recently published a report containing a thorough analysis of 30 of the biggest cryptos, including ETH, BNB, XRP, ADA, and Sol. Today, we're going to tell you what it says about these altcoins, give you our take on what comes next for them, and explain what it all means for the broader market. The report we'll be summarizing today is Messari's quarterly community report for Q2, titled, quote, State of the Market Q2 2023. We'll leave a link to the full report in the description if you're interested. Note that we won't have...
In my defense, I haven't watched this at all yet, so I don't know what coins he's going to be talking about.
Have time to go through every single altcoin here. Now, the report begins with a brief explanation, and that's that the authors aggregated market data for over 30 cryptocurrencies using Messari's protocol services.
Sped it
They
up a
note
little
that
bit.
they included BTC and ETH for comparison and ordered the crypto projects they analyzed by market cap. On that note, you should know that I currently hold BTC, ETH, Atom, and DOT as part of my personal crypto portfolio.
Does anybody else hold Atom or DOT? I hold Bitcoin and ETH, but not Atom or DOT.
If you want to see my up-to-date portfolio and get my take on what's coming next for the crypto market, be sure to subscribe to our weekly newsletter. The link is also in the description. And it should go without saying, folks, that nothing in this video is financial advice, just an informative summary of an awesome crypto report. Thank you, Messari. And we promised to be as unbiased as possible when analyzing each of the different cryptos they covered. Speaking of which, the first crypto project on the list is Ethereum. The authors note that Ethereum's market dominance increased during Q2, that lots of ETH was being burned, that Ethereum experienced finalization issues, that Layer 2 solutions continue to grow, and that Ethereum's validators can now unstake. The increase in Ethereum's market dominance is likely due to a combination of factors, namely institutional investors being bullish on ETH because of its transition to proof of stake, and the fact that alternative Layer 1s have either been labeled as securities by the SEC or have simply fizzled out. The ETH burns is where things get interesting.
Apparently, according to Crypto World, by the way, I guess Ethereum has just been labeled a commodity, not a security, which is interesting. So I'm going to have to look that up in a little while.
Most of these seem to have come from the meme coin craze of a couple of months ago. As you can see, ETH is still deflationary, but it seems to be trending slightly back up to an inflationary level. Note that ETH is only deflationary to the tune of 0.1% per year. Funnily enough, the meme coin craze could have been a contributing factor to Ethereum's finality issues. That's because they were caused by certain Ethereum clients being overloaded by too many transactions. Thankfully, the clients were updated and the issues were quickly resolved. As for Ethereum Layer 2s, if you watched our recent video about Base, you'll know that they continue to be very popular despite the bear market. This could be the most bullish development we've seen on Ethereum over the last few months, though some have argued that they compete with the Base chain. The only thing more bullish than that was the completion of the Shapella upgrade, which made it possible for validators to unstake their ETH and claim their ETH staking rewards.
Real quick, I want to bring this up. I have to pull this up in Brave browser because these pop-ups are absolutely absurd. All right, looking right here. U.S. court calls ETH a commodity while tossing investor suit against Uniswap. A New York judge declined to stretch the federal securities laws to cover the conduct alleged in a proposed class action complaint seeking to hold Uniswap accountable for scam tokens issued on the protocol. So I mean, this is the key word right here. ETH a commodity. Interesting, right? All right, let's get back into it.
This likely inspired significant confidence in Ethereum among institutional investors and regular ETH holders as well. The caveat is that most of the institutional investment in ETH has been indirect. For example, there was record trading volume of ETH instruments on the CME exchange. The catch is that the CME consists of paper contracts, not physical ETH. If this money had gone into ETH, it would have pumped its price. It appears that the only thing stopping institutional investors from investing in ETH directly is the regulatory uncertainty around ETH's status as an asset, plus the regulatory uncertainty around the crypto industry in general. They don't want to buy an unregistered security or be unable to cash out the fiat. Now, the good news is that regulatory clarity is coming in many jurisdictions in places like the Middle East, Asia, and Europe. The bad news is that regulatory clarity still seems to be far away in the United States, and of course, that's where most of the big money is, at least for now. Anyhow, the second crypto project on the list is BNB. The authors note that activity on BNB rose by 24% during Q2, that its market cap declined by a similar percentage because of the SEC, that fee revenue declined slightly, that the network remained stable, and that many upgrades were introduced. The increase...
You guys hold BNB? Let me know in the chat. Interested to know. Because I don't know. I'm curious about where this is going to go with the whole Binance and US thing.
Inactivity on BNB is a peculiar finding. The authors believe it's due to BNB's integration with Layer 0, a cross-chain interoperability solution for EVM chains. If you watched our recent video about BNB, however, you'll know that its network activity is suspect, to say the least. The decline in market cap makes a lot more sense, especially since the SEC declared that BNB was a security in its lawsuit against Binance. At the time of shooting, BNB is hovering around critical levels that are believed to be triggers for large liquidations in BNB's DeFi protocols and possibly elsewhere. Not only that, but the technicals suggest that there's no support for BNB below the $200 range. The thing is that technicals don't work too well when you're dealing with exchange tokens, such as BNB. Their price action is ultimately dependent on their associated exchange. BNB is admittedly a bit different, though. In any case, the decline in fee revenue the authors found is circumstantial evidence to support the idea that the activity on the BNB chain is a bit abnormal. The total value locked in BNB's DeFi protocols has also fallen off a cliff over the last half year, likely in part due to the forced decline in BUSD's market cap. New York regulators
I'm putting a poll in the chat. I want to know if you guys trust Binance.
Required Paxos to stop issuing BUSD earlier this year, but it can still be redeemed. Regardless, the upgrades around BNB are perhaps the most bullish developments. From our perspective, it appears that BNB has been rushing to introduce the upgrades that Ethereum is also considering. One of these is an upgrade which makes it possible to freeze transactions in the event of a hack or exploit. The difference is that the ability to freeze transactions on Ethereum occurs at the smart contract level and can be voluntarily implemented by developers, whereas the transaction freezing on BNB occurs at the level of the blockchain and is apparently decided by BNB's validators. A tad terrifying, to be honest. Now, whether BNB can bounce from its recent lows fundamentally depends on what happens with Binance. If we suddenly start to see positive regulatory developments, such as settlements with US authorities, which are reportedly in the works, BNB could explode to the upside on the news. Alternatively, if the regulatory crackdown on Binance continues, then BNB could continue to suffer. This is what the charts suggest, but I'll remind you that technicals don't work too well with exchange tokens. There could be unforeseen zones of support for BNB if it does break below that $200 level. Now, the third crypto project on the list is XRP, aka the XRP Ledger. The authors note that XRP's market cap increased over 40% during Q2, that the number of daily active addresses actually declined by almost 18%, that its NFT transactions increased by 13%, and that the crypto project continues to work on sidechains. It's extremely important to underscore that this data was gathered during Q2, which ended on the 30th of June. The judge's ruling in the SEC's case against Ripple didn't occur until July, so it wasn't included in the author's recap.
Real quick, Magic Lucky said, I don't trust USDT, which is the elephant in the room, IMO, which is in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really trust it either. Interesting comment, though.
Is even more bullish because it means that XRP had momentum prior to that. Obviously, this momentum was likely due to the fact that XRP bulls were expecting the judge to rule in Ripple's favor, which is essentially what happened. The result was that XRP's price doubled in a couple of days. The other cryptos that the SEC had labeled as securities also experienced face-ripping rallies. However, if you watched our video about the judge's ruling, you'll know that XRP isn't in the clear just yet. That's because the judge's ruling rests on the assumption that those buying XRP on exchanges basically didn't know Ripple existed. This means they couldn't have had an expectation of profit coming from Ripple. Now, this is a somewhat questionable premise, and it's probably why the SEC is reportedly planning on appealing the ruling. In turn, this is probably why XRP has returned almost all the gains it saw because of the ruling. To be fair, the rest of the crypto market recently crashed too. This could also explain XRP's losses. Now, according to The Block, the number of daily active users on XRP is as abnormal as what you see on BNB. It consists of massive spikes in activity followed by low periods. It seems the baseline level of daily active users is somewhere around 25k. The most recent peak was in March with over 160k. We actually couldn't find up-to-date data about XRP's NFT transactions, but the long-term trend of XRP's daily wallet addresses suggests they're likely in a long-term decline as well. So,
hey, if you guys can answer that poll, I'm really interested to know how many of you guys do trust Binance. It's 38 votes right now. Just interested to know. And guys, hit the like button if you haven't. Appreciate you for hanging out.
This begs the question of why, and the answer seems to be because of XRP's chosen niche and its competition. As some of you may have seen, Stellar, a de facto fork of XRP, has been eating up a lot of the market share which once belonged to Ripple. Of particular interest is MoneyGram, with whom Stellar has a partnership for remittances with USDC. Stellar also recently invested in MoneyGram, like Ripple did. XRP's decision to try and expand its ecosystem in the face of this competition makes sense, but it's too soon to say if this strategy will work or not. It's easy to forget that Ripple and XRP have been under pressure for almost 3 years. That is a long time in cryptocurrency, and it's going to be tricky for XRP to catch up. Now, the fourth crypto project on the list is Cardano. The authors note that the total value locked on Cardano increased by 10% in Q2.
Do you guys hold Cardano? This is another one that's been like, it's been really talked about a lot in the past couple weeks. There's been a lot of videos on it, and I don't know what to believe about it. Like, do you guys think this is going to be like one of the next big coins? Let me know what you think about it in the chat.
That daily dApp transactions increased by 50%, that development of the Hydra scaling solution continued, and that Milkomeda, or Milkomeda, however you want to pronounce it, an EVM sidechain for Cardano, will become a layer 2.
Wow, 30% of my portfolio is ADA. Yes, ADA, sustainable crypto. Wow, a lot of you guys like ADA, huh? Wow, that's neat. To be honest, like I've always heard about it. I've never owned any though. I've never held any. Just to be honest. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know. Just never been one of those coins I was interested in, but I feel like I need to start looking into it a bit more.
Data from DeFi Llama confirms that the total value locked in Cardano's DeFi protocols continues to increase despite the crypto bear market. Now, this is not that surprising considering that the only thing holding back Cardano's DeFi ecosystem was the presence of a stablecoin of some kind. Any ADA bulls in the audience will know that JED, Cardano's decentralized stablecoin, went live back in January. Not surprisingly, it's one of the largest DeFi protocols by total value locked. If MakerDAO on Ethereum is anything to go by, JED could soon become the largest DeFi protocol on Cardano. Given this DeFi growth, the increase in Cardano's daily dApp transactions is likewise unsurprising and is likely to continue so long as there's some sort of liquidity anchor present. What Cardano's ecosystem needs the most right now is more stablecoin support and more scalability, aka faster transactions. When it comes to stablecoin support, it's a bit strange that none of the major stablecoin issuers have added support for Cardano. This is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, the absence of a major centralized stablecoin means that it will be harder for liquidity, that is, money, to flow into Cardano. On the other hand, it also means that Cardano can't be influenced by these centralized stablecoin issuers. For context, Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin noted last summer that centralized stablecoin issuers could decide future Ethereum forks due to their influence. They could vote with their liquidity. In terms of scaling, meanwhile, Hydra has been front and center for Cardano. For reference, Hydra will make it possible for each staking pool on Cardano to process up to 1,000 transactions per second. With over 3,000 staking pools, Cardano could theoretically process over 3 million transactions per second, surpassing all other cryptos. As with all of Cardano's developments, however, scaling up to 3 million TPS is going to take a lot of time. For those unfamiliar, Hydra actually launched its first head back in May and is reportedly in the process of rolling out multiple updates, including a payment system based on Hydra. What's odd is that ADA appears to have crashed shortly after the Hydra launch. Believe it or not, but this might have something to do with all the EVM integrations we've seen among non-EVM layer 1s like Cardano and Solana. This suggests that Ethereum continues to dominate among smart contract cryptos. At the same time, the SEC labeled ADA as a security in its lawsuits against both Binance and Coinbase. If you're wondering what the SEC's reasoning was, you can check out our video about the lawsuits using the link in the description. If you hold ADA, I strongly suggest watching it. Now, the last crypto from the list we're going to cover today is Solana. The authors note that Sol's market cap fell by 9% in Q2, that the number of Solana validators decreased by over 20%, that the Solana Foundation continued to invest in the ecosystem, and that Solana's Saga smartphone was released. How
do you guys feel about Solana? Does anybody hold that still? I know that like pumped really hard in the last bull run and then it just kind of took a shit. But I know like they're crashing a lot, aren't they? I don't know if that shit's been resolved, but I want to look at this poll in the chat real quick. Do you trust Binance? Yes, 30% of you. We have, oh, sorry, now it's 29%. We have 66% say no and 5% say show results. So interesting to know that there is 65% of you do not trust Binance. I mean, I feel like something's off with it, but again, at the same time, like he's in a different country, you know, so CZ or whatever is in another country. So it's not, I don't know. Things are a bit different, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're in trouble with the SEC, to be honest. It's going to be a problem.
The main reason why Sol's market cap declined seems to have been because it was labeled as a security in the SEC's lawsuits against Binance and Coinbase, something the authors note. What the authors didn't note, however, is that FTX and Alameda Research were Solana whales. If you watched our last Solana update, you'll know that FTX and Alameda held roughly 15% of Sol's total supply when they went under. It's possible, if not likely,
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
That some or all of this Sol will be liquidated as part of the bankruptcy proceedings for both companies.
Oh, wow.
This could be suppressing Sol's price.
Yeah, that could be really bad for Solana. 15%? That's crazy.
You'll also know that FTX and Alameda seem to be running lots of validators on Solana as well. The thing is that this wouldn't explain the decline in Solana validators over the last few months. This could be a consequence of the fact that running a Solana validator costs tens of thousands of dollars. That's why the...
Real quick, did they say 15% of the entire Solana market? Hold on, let me just see what he said again.
Alameda held roughly 15% of Sol's total supply when
Of their total supply. That's a lot. That's a real lot.
they went under. It's possible, if not likely, that some or all of this Sol will
That's
be liquidated
crazy.
as part of the bankruptcy proceedings for both companies. This could be suppressing Sol's price. You'll
Wow.
also know that FTX and Alameda seem to be running lots of validators on Solana as well. The thing is that this wouldn't explain the decline in Solana validators over the last few months. This could be a consequence of the fact that running a Solana validator costs tens of thousands of dollars. That's why the Solana Foundation has multiple programs to help foot the bill of running a validator. The problem there is that the Foundation has also been investing heavily in other areas of Solana's ecosystem. These activities likely require the Foundation to sell some of its SOL for cash. Meanwhile, the demand for SOL and Solana-related products seems to be on the decline. Case in point, Solana recently slashed the price of its Saga smartphone by 40%. On-chain data provided by the block also reveals that the number of active wallets has fallen sharply since the start of the year. For what it's worth, the number of daily active wallets is still well over 200k. To put things into perspective, that's 10x more than the number of daily active wallets on XRP, which is more than 3 times larger by market cap than SOL. That said, XRP is the only altcoin that's been judged not to be a security. You win some, you lose some. In all seriousness, Solana could have serious potential during the next crypto bull market. This is simply because most of the new Layer 1s have branded themselves as Solana killers. Consider that the cryptos that did the best during the previous cycle were those that branded themselves Ethereum killers. In the end, both ETH and these Ethereum killers saw massive gains. It's possible that we'll see a similar scenario play out with Sol and all the Solana killers during the next cycle. However, this assumes that Ethereum hasn't already won the Layer 1 competition, which you'll recall seems to be the case. So, this brings me to the big question, and that's what all of this means for the broader crypto market. Well, the short answer is that it's pretty bullish. The fact that altcoins continue to see significant traction despite the crypto bear market, as well as some being labeled securities by the SEC, is a sign of serious crypto adoption. The overall decline in price and on-chain metrics is expected, given the circumstances. The bigger question is how much more these will decline and how long this decline will last. The answer is something I mentioned earlier. Regulatory clarity is what's required for altcoins to thrive. Until the crypto industry gets this regulatory clarity, Bitcoin's BTC will be the only truly safe cryptocurrency, and I do mean only BTC. Even stablecoins are facing significant regulatory scrutiny, and if we start to see any major crackdowns, this will guarantee that the overall decline will continue. If you watched our recent video about the Fed's warning to banks, you'll know that we could actually see a stablecoin crackdown begin in as little as 2 weeks. Even if this impending crackdown never materializes, there are many other crypto catalysts that could take the markets much lower. The silver lining to all this is that there are also many crypto catalysts that could take the markets much higher. For instance, if the judge in the SEC's case against Coinbase was to make a similar judgment to that of the Ripple case, then altcoins could explode much higher. There are also talks of an ETH futures ETF. The catalyst that everyone is watching now, though, is BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF application, which would almost certainly take the entire crypto market higher if it's approved. The consensus seems to be that it's a question of when, not if. Now, some would argue that this strong consensus suggests that the opposite will happen. Anyway, speculation aside, the key takeaway from this report is that the crypto market appears to be resilient in more ways than one. This resilience is impressive when you reflect on everything that's been thrown at the crypto industry over the last year or two. Terra, Celsius, FTX, lawsuits, the list goes on. And even if this list gets longer, the resilience we've seen so far is likely to continue, and it will become the perfect launchpad for the next crypto bull market. If you can manage to stick around until then, well, history suggests that you will be greatly rewarded. But then again, history doesn't repeat. It just rhymes.
Hopefully you guys have diamond hands, because there is going to be a lot more. Well, who knows, right? Who knows there's going to be more downside, but in the history of crypto, September's been like the worst month. So we're probably going to see some pullbacks this month if I had to guess. But what are we looking at right now anyways? Still deep red, 26,000. I don't know. Do you guys think it's going to get downwards of 20? I saw, what was it? I was watching something the other day. I forget what it was, but someone was talking about Bitcoin possibly breaking its low again. I don't know when, but it would just be, I don't know. I would buy more. I would just buy more. I wouldn't like freak out and sell everything, right? You only lose if you sell. We're all hashing at a loss, basically. Yeah, dude, honestly, I shut off all my rigs again. I had to. It's too much. It's not worth running my cards right now. Unless it becomes more profitable. It's just right now it's just too uncertain. Now let's see. No way. We're already partially priced in. Yeah, you think so? You think so? Rabid says 15,000. Yeah. Oh, dude, honestly, if it hits 15,000, I'll buy another one for sure. Because that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But anyways, guys, I need to get out of here because it is Friday. The wife still needs to get to work, but she is going to be having a half day. So maybe we'll be back later. We'll see, depending if we have time. I do have to get ready for my son's 3rd birthday, though, which is on Sunday. So I got to leave you guys off with a great song for the end of the show, as always. So hopefully you guys enjoy your Friday. Happy payday to most of you guys that get paid today. And I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. It'll be 9 a.m., not 8 a.m. So 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace out.
Yeah, I wish I could roll back time to that old Silk Road. I wanna hold until I can't no more. I'm gonna...
Oh, real quick. Thank you so much, Dan
If you
R.
can get little chump man a Zelcore wallet and buy him $10 in Bitcoin as a birthday gift.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for the super chat.
Add crypto to my portfolio. I wanna hold until I can't no more. I got my crypto coming back soon. I'm back in the black too. Suck here in the bag. Now I'm feeling like a tycoon. Riding on a Lambo. You can live with FOMO. I've been through the dips. When it's low, I was buying more. Now I got my money on the blockchain. Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. Can't nobody stop my campaign. Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. I'ma buy some Bitcoin, hold it like the big boys. Ride it to the moon on my Lambo or my Rolls Royce. Now I got these altcoins, they don't make the big noise, but they make the big rips. Call me crypto cowboy. Now I got my money on the blockchain. Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. Can't nobody stop my campaign. Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. Yeah, wish I could roll back time to that old Silk Road. I wanna hold until I can't no more. I'm gonna add crypto to my portfolio. I wanna hold until I can't no more. Backyard garage, solar powered area. Spend a lot of money trying to mine that Ethereum. Boy, I gotta have it, I'ma bounce right back. And I'm addicted, I become a crypto maniac. You see, I got no stocks and I got no gold. I'm all in, all I do is I buy crypto. Wish I could roll back time to that old Silk Road. I wanna hold till I can't no more. Wish I could roll back time to that old Silk Road. I wanna hold until I can't no more. I'm gonna add crypto to my portfolio. I wanna hold until I can't no more.
Mr. Joker Miner, thank you so much for the super chat, as well as everybody else. Dan R, love you guys. Happy Friday. Enjoy it. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace, peace.